All right, let's take a look at HTTP in Go. Let me clean off some of this old stuff. All right, so HTTP requests with Go. The simplest request is a head request, and I can bring up the code here. So before we got a port scanner running, so we can get up to the functionality of a simple port scanner, and now we're going to make HTTP requests and get up to where we can do a simple brute force login attack. So we import net HTTP and IO util, and here's how it works. You make an HTTP request, and there are various methods. This is the head request, so it'll go to this server and just request the headers, not the page. And as we're used to by now, if there is no error, then it prints out the error. If there is an error, and if there's no error, then it goes down here and prints the response. I've stored the response here, and the response is an object with various fields, and it'll print the header. And then down here, it'll print the body. So let's see how that works. That's head 1. All right, so the header is here, and the body is there. There is no body because the head request returns only the header. And this is the HTTP header, which just includes information like what version of the server you're using and the current time and things like that. All right. Now, if you want to, let's try the get method. Now, here's a nice page, HTTP bin, that just reflects back the request you made so you can understand your requests. So this is a GET request. Here's the headers that I sent. My browser sent these things. The refer is the page I was on. The user agent should be someplace. Yeah, here it is, telling it what version of a browser I'm using, and so on. And that gives my origin and the URL of the page I'm going to. So that just shows you the structure of the request. And we can do that get in Go. So if I look at get 0, all right, now I just use HTTP get instead of HTTP head and put the response in the RESP variable. And now I can read the body and print the body. I'm not bothering to print the headers anymore, just the body. So that's get 0. And so I get, well, I got headers, which sort of surprised me. Let me see if I, showing the page body. Oh, that's right, because this one went to that same page, HTTP bin. That's why I'm confused. Okay. If I went to a normal page, it would be showing the HTML of the page. This is just showing me the request my Go program made. And you can see it's simpler than the request a real browser makes. And one thing about it is you have a simpler user agent. But it has enough information to be acceptable to the server. All right, now the next one is fetching a target page, which is get 1. Here we're going to get a page at target1.boundconsulting.com, which is just a test page I use. In fact, you can just view this page to see what it ought to look like. Put that up in a browser. That's all it is, just a page showing target server. So we'll fetch that one with get 1. And so here it is, HTTP GET, loading from that page, and all the rest is the same. It just checks for errors and then prints the response, the body. So if I run that one, now I get what I was looking for. I get HTML code. So this is the raw source code which your browser renders, and it has a title and it has a message here, target server, and so on. So that's a simple HTTP GET. Now let's consider a login. Here's a very simple login. If I put in a username of foo and a password of bar and log in, my browser is going to warn me that I'm using HTTP to log in. This is something browsers do these days. They've switched to this in the last few years to warn you that you're not using HTTPS. I'm going to send anyway. And so I get in, login rejected, you sent foobar, and you can try again. So we haven't found the right name and password, but we did send a name and password to the server, and it understood the name and password and gave a response. So I want to be able to do that with Go. And in this case, all I have to do is put the username and the password up here in the URL bar. It's not showing for some reason. There, if I click there, it shows. They're just right there in the bar. Another, by the way, not a good security practice to put usernames and passwords right up here in the URL, but you can do it, and I've done it here. And that makes it easy to do the script because I can just put it right there and continue to use the same get method. So that is get to. And so the active ingredient is over here, U equals foo and P equals bar. That's where the username and password are. And this script is just going to send the fixed quantity, foo and bar, up there. So it's always going to be wrong, but I'll be able to make sure that my script is working in the sense that it does send data to the server, which it could understand, and it works. You sent foo bar. So it did understand me, and then it will have rejected me. All right. All right. I see. I'm surprised it says welcome. It should say login rejected, which I'm strangely not seeing in this response. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Just, all right. Anyway, it understood the request. So now we can make a password guessing script that will try a variety of them. Let's see if I've already got that on this machine. I'm not sure I installed it yet. Did I put get 3 here? Yeah, okay, good. So here's a password. It's gonna, the username is Dumbo and the password is Goofy, Mickey, or Dumbo. So I have a list of passwords that are strings and a single username. So now I have I can have a for loop where P goes through the passwords and I will just count them. And so it's going to print which guess we're doing and then add that to the username, URL plus username plus password equals the password, and then print the response that comes back. So this will try all 3 of those guesses and show us all the responses. So that is get 3. All right. And so if you scroll back to see it going, guess number 0 is Goofy. So it sent Dumbo Goofy, and that did not say I was allowed in. Then it sent Mickey, which was Dumbo Mickey. And then it sent Dumbo Dumbo, and then you get a flag. So the, all right. So that's the brute force attack. And there are just more fancy things to do here. That's the first flag. And then you can do a post method, which you'll have to do a bit of research to figure out how to do a post method. Instead of here's an example of how to do a post in Go. You just do HTTP post form instead of HTTP get. And then you put in the values in this structure that looks like a JSON structure. Not quite exactly the same as JSON, though. And so then you can do a password guessing script in post, and you can start breaking into some web pages. So, and for another challenge, you can do basic authentication, which encodes stuff with base64. And you'll find there's methods available to do that in Go. So there's a few more things to try.